Welcome back to another episode of the Aquademia podcast. I'm your host, Justin Grant.
And I'm Maddie Cassidy. And today we are talking about our organization, Global Seafood Alliance's annual event, the Responsible Seafood Summit. So we usually do an episode about this every year because it's something that Justin and I are both really passionate and excited about. This year is an especially exciting year because we are going to Cartagena, Colombia. So the Responsible Seafood Summit, for those who don't know, is an event that gathers seafood innovators, leadership, producers, NGOs, all sorts of different people, different cross sections of the industry, and brings them all to one place to talk about the top issues that are facing the seafood industry and coming up with collaborative solutions that we can actually put into place. That's really the goal of the event. This year's event will be happening, like I just said, in Cartagena, Colombia from September 29th to October 2nd. And the venue for the event is the Intercontinental Cartagena de Indias in Cartagena, right in downtown, right on the ocean. Gorgeous location.
Yes.
So registration for the event is open. The link to all of that, the agenda, information about travel, know before you go, all of the links to those things will be in the show notes of this episode.
And as always, Aquademia is on social. We are on X. Follow us at Aquademia Pod. If you want to contact the podcast for any reason, we do have an online form located at globalseafood.org/podcast.
And if you enjoy this episode, be sure to leave a rating or review on whichever podcast platform you listen to us on.
Welcome to the Aquademia podcast.
Our diet is hurting the environment in myriad ways. I mean, we desperately need to eat more seafood.
This is a pioneering industry with a whole lot of people who have really good ideas and a lot of experience and are unafraid.
Aquademia is your go-to podcast for a fresh take on all things seafood.
Devin, thanks for joining Maddie and I on the Aquademia podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing great.
In case our listeners noticed, Devin's voice might be very familiar to you because she's actually in the intro of every single episode. So welcome to the show, Devin.
Thanks so much. It's an honor to be on every episode in that first clip. It's old, but I love hearing it, and I love what you guys have done with the podcast.
So, Devin, can you give us a little synopsis of who you are and what your relationship to the Responsible Seafood Summit is?
Sure. So my name is Devin Meserve. I am the VP of Marketing and Communications here at the Global Seafood Alliance. And that just means I get to work with a fantastic and talented team of marketing and communications professionals. And Maddie and Justin are on that team. I'm so thrilled that they are. And we have the responsibility of producing our conference every year. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but mostly it's a lot of fun.
So this year, as some of our listeners may know, but those listeners that don't, we're going to Colombia. Why did we choose this location for this year's summit? And what are you, Devin, most excited about?
Yeah, so I think what is unique about our seafood conference is that we produce an event in a different city every single year. GSA is a global organization, and I think it's so important that we bring our event to a different corner of the world year over year. Of course, it would be easier if we had folks come to the same city every year, but it's really special what we create in our host city. We have a core group of folks who travel the world with us, but we also attract new attendees every year. We have producers, innovators, NGOs, retail folks from that region, and it really makes the content so rich and fresh and exciting for every attendee. For 2025, we did consider a few different locations, but Cartagena came out on top because we were due to return to South America. The last time we were there was in 2018. We were in Ecuador.
Yeah, that was my first one.
Yes, it was an amazing event. I can't believe how much time has passed since we were there.
It's crazy.
It seems like just yesterday. I think so. We were due to go to that region, but Also, Cartagena just came out on top because it's a spectacular city. If you search the internet, you will see the city on so many lists of like must travel to locations across the globe. I can attest to that. I've been twice for event planning, and it just has surprised me and exceeded my expectations in so many ways. And it's a port city with deep ties to the seafood industry.
Yep.
And it just has so much to offer conference attendees. I'm really excited for both of you and everyone who's coming to experience it.
Yeah, it's a really great blend of Colombia has a vibrant seafood industry, but Cartagena specifically it's a beautiful touristic city, and it's not too far from major airports.
No.
Like, it's a pretty central location for a lot of Latin America and North America. So it's a great location for us this year. I'm really excited to go.
Absolutely.
So for anyone who hasn't been to the Responsible Seafood Summit before, which in case you are a listener and you've never heard of the Responsible Seafood Summit, it used to be our conference called Goal, but we rebranded it a few years ago. So for people who have never heard of it or never been, what is the vibe like at the summit?
I love that you asked about the vibe.
We really try to curate a vibe with the event.
Absolutely. I think because we keep attendance between 350 and 400 people, I really feel like that ensures a personalized and engaging experience for everyone. I've had folks in the past come up to me throughout the year at other events, or, actually after our conference, and say, wow, I was so surprised I was able to actually connect with someone that I've been meaning to meet in the seafood industry. And I never thought I'd have a chance to pause and have a really meaningful conversation with this person. And I think that's part of the vibe. We've got 4 days of networking and learning and conference content, and you really can start and finish a full conversation, right? Not just I'll get back to you when I'm back in the office. It's no, we're going to talk about something and kind of get to the core of it here because we've got the time and the space to do that. I also, as I mentioned above, I think the mix of people who have been to every goal or summit and mixing that with people who have never experienced it, but they're attending because we're in their region, I think that makes the vibe really fun, and it's different than other events, I believe.
Yeah, one thing that really sets it apart for me is it's really memorable year to year. Each year stands out because it has an individual personality. It's not the same thing every year, and that's what makes it so fun for people coming back every year and for newcomers.
All right. I do not want you to give too much away here, but I do want you to talk about some of the hot topics or some of these big conversations that we do plan on diving a little bit deeper into this year. Can you talk a little bit about those?
So I think I'm going to keep even more of the program kind of under wraps. And I do that because I leave the program development to my colleague, Jamie Wright. He's done a fantastic job of covering various program announcements in a series of GSA emails that he does for the Responsible Seafood Advocate product. So this is kind of my way of plugging that, everyone should subscribe to our email list so you can hear the latest from Jamie. But I will say that with the theme being impact, we'll explore how seafood impacts some big topics, including global food security, human health, economies, and the environment.
Yeah, it's a really stacked program this year, and all of that information has been published on our website. So we'll be sure to link to that in the show notes because it's a hefty thing. I feel like it would take us the whole episode to just go through what's available in the program. So definitely take a look at that for yourself and see if there's any topics that pique your interest. So with that in mind, Devin, are there any speakers or sessions or even extracurricular experiences at the summit that you are especially excited about this year?
Yeah, so recently I've been really excited to hear the results of work we're doing with GlobeScan. So we're working with this well-known organization to help us better understand the seafood consumer. And at Summit, it just timed out really nicely that they will be ready to share some of their results, not just with us, but with everyone in the conference room.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that, especially kind of being a marketer at heart. I'm also excited to hear from Dr. Mozafarian. I've got a toddler at home and she refuses to eat seafood, and I keep trying to get her to love it or at least try it. And I think hearing from him about how seafood is so crucial to human health, I think it will give me the motivation to keep trying with my daughter. Thirdly, I don't want to give away too much here, but we will have some content from local chefs in the program. And this goes across the, what you see on stage to our field trip offerings. And there are some amazing chefs in Cartagena. There are some amazing restaurants. I just, meal after meal I had when I was doing site visits, I just was so impressed. And I love hearing from chefs about how they work with seafood, how they get their customers excited about seafood dishes, and how they also work with their suppliers. And sometimes that's local fishermen providing seafood to them in the morning that they then put on someone's plate in the evening. So those are probably the three things I'm excited about in the moment right now.
What about you, Justin? What are you excited about?
Well, our listeners know how much I love food. So anytime we travel, the selfish part of me is just exploring the regional culinary, that whole experience, really, and eating the local flavors, just what I really enjoy. But Devin, you did mention these holistic conversations that you have at our event, right? How does the summit help people actually meet, share ideas, and build those real relationships in the seafood world?
Yeah, I think I've been to conferences where you sit down at a table in the morning and maybe you smile at the person across from you, and then, you don't see them again. Or maybe you exchange a business card and say, hey, we should talk. But I feel like what we offer at the summit, it's not just sitting across from someone. It's that, plus it's, having lunch with that person and seeing them later at a reception and experiencing the entertainment that we provide so that you have a flavor of the country and the city that we're in, and experiencing that together, watching dancers or whatever we come up with for this year. It's also then, putting on a pair of boots and, touring a seafood facility together. So I feel like you can't not have connection with that environment that's created. And I encourage everyone to really kind of soak up as much as you can. Again, it's not just a conference.
That's a perfect segue to what I wanted to pick your brain on next. So one thing that really sets the summit apart in my experience of the summit, and I know I've mentioned this many times on the podcast, but my first summit in Ecuador, I was able to go on an overnight field trip to northern Ecuador and visit a bunch of different seafood facilities. And I was brand new to the seafood industry, had no idea what I was getting myself into, but it gave me such a valuable experience. And I went home with a much better idea of the industry that I'm working in. So I think that that's something that's invaluable, that really sets the summit apart, is that hands-on experience. So can you tell us a little bit about what we have planned for those hands-on experiences this year, especially the field trips, because that's a really important part of why the summit is so much fun.
Right. And such a unique piece to the conference. Like, not all conferences offer that experience, but I don't want to steal your thunder, Devin. I know there's some really cool things that are happening this year.
Yeah, and we couldn't do it without the support of the field trip hosts. So
right.
Kind of focusing on the field trip component. Every year we reach out to those in the seafood industry around our host city and say, hey, people are coming here, but we want them not only to learn and hear from people on stage, we want them to actually get into it and experience, what does seafood look and feel like in this part of the world. And it's funny that you say that about Ecuador, Maddie, because I think it was my first year at GSA, then GAA, when I went to Ireland for the conference, and I was put in charge of hosting an overnight. We just had a busload of people, and I was told, don't lose anyone and make sure they have a great time. And it was such a bonding experience. And I'll never forget that. So field trips this year, I won't give away too much, but I will say I think this year especially, we have something for everyone. We have a field trip to a research laboratory that's focused on kind of what's happening in aquaculture in Colombia. For those folks who are interested kind of in nerding out on aquaculture topics, that could be the field trip for you. We also have a local processing plant. If you haven't, if you're new to the seafood industry and you haven't toured a processing plant, there's so much to learn there. One that I'm really excited about is an oceanarium. It's not an aquarium, it's an oceanarium because it is in the ocean on an island. So there are some islands within a short boat ride from Cartagena, and there's an oceanarium there, and we have some great hosts who are going to let folks tour and then spend some time on the island and have a nice lunch. So I'm really excited about that one. I know there'll be people clamoring to attend. Also, I mentioned about chefs getting involved with us this year. We're going to have a local chef who I've met who is fantastic, and he works really closely with the small-scale fishermen in the market in Cartagena. So he's going to offer a tour to attendees. So you're going to go really early in the morning with him to the market, see how he works with the fishermen, how he picks out his fish, and then you're going to go back to his restaurant in town, and he will create a culinary experience for folks. So I think that will be a really great one as well. And then the final one is kind of interesting for us. So it's more of a cultural experience, but folks will be going to a traditional fishing village. This will involve taking a boat ride and maybe even trying out some methods of casting fishing nets and crab traps, and really being immersed in that experience. And of course, every field trip will have transportation and lunch, and again, it's a great opportunity to get to know your fellow attendees as well. So I'll focus on that. I think in addition to field trips, we're planning an opening conference. So like the night before the conference starts, we'll have an opening reception at the headquarters hotel right outside by the pool. It's just beautiful, overlooking the ocean. It's a kind of a nice casual, way to kind of launch into the week. See people you haven't seen in a while, meet some new folks, eat some great seafood. And we'll also then have our gala evening on Wednesday. So following the 2 days of full programming, we will take attendees out of the hotel. I won't say where quite yet. And that will be a really fun night. We'll have music and dancing and food, spectacular views.
Drinks.
And yes, of course, you can kind of relax and have fun. And that's always the highlight. And there's always dancing.
There was a conga line last year.
There's always dancing. So I can promise you that.
One thing that is a highlight for me every year is the Innovation Awards reception.
Yes.
So this year that will be on day one in the afternoon, so the Tuesday of the event. And that's always so interesting to me. It's basically a reception where there's drinks, networking, and in the middle of all of that, we have 6 finalists, 3 for aquaculture, 3 for fisheries, who get up on the main stage and present their innovation, their seafood innovation. And then in real time, the audience gets to vote on who they think should win the awards, which is just such a fun touch. And we always try to get those finalists and winners on the podcast after. So you'll definitely hear from them if you don't attend the event. So
But you should attend the event.
Yes, of course. So that is one thing that I definitely look forward to every year.
I think it's worth mentioning too, like all field trips, there is a cap to how many people can attend. Yeah. And so if one of those field trips really spoke to you, not only are you going to get 2 days of great programming, but included with your registration, it could be one of those field trips. So it's really important that if you heard one that you really like, register now so that you can secure that spot, because when it's full because these facilities can only take so many people, boats can only fit so many passengers, things like that. So these are really, really well crafted, great field trips. And I just can't stress enough to register now, because registration has been open for quite some time and these field trips are filling up.
And one note about the field trips is we have heard feedback in the past. The field trips used to be on the days of the conference. And we've actually, last year was the first year that we switched things around and made it so that days 1 and 2 of the event are just conference. And then day 3 is a day just for field trips. So you're not missing any conference programming. You're going to be able to like detach, turn that part of your brain off and turn on the part where you're experiencing things in real time. So that's a nice feature that we've changed from feedback.
Yeah, and I would also say, I didn't plan on saying this, but I will. You guys just made me think of it. If you're getting excited about this conference and you share it with your partner, significant other, and they are super jealous because they want to go to Cartagena as well, we do offer a social guest registration, and you can add that on when you kind of move through the sign up process. That allows your guest to not only attend the opening reception and the gala evening, but also we're creating some special field trips that will happen during the conference sessions Tuesday and Wednesday. They're looking really fun. One out to the islands, I believe, and one into the city to get a proper city tour. I think some folks are going to be jealous. I just hope they don't skip out on the conference to go do these trips. But just remember that's an option. If you want to bring someone along, we have something for them.
Devin, you did a great job of building the excitement around what to expect at the event. But if there's still someone that's out there that's still weighing whether or not they should come, what would you say to get them to pack their bags and join all of us in Colombia this year?
I would say don't think too long. And spaces are definitely filling up. There's a lot of buzz about this event. And again, I wouldn't think about it too long. I would sign up, and I would certainly get your hotel room, our hotel block at the Intercontinental, which is our headquarters for the conference. That is filling up really fast, and that's going to close very soon. So I think that's my plug for not only registration, but just get your hotel room set, because there are other hotels around, but I think there's such benefit to kind of being in the hub. And again,
it's right on the ocean.
Yeah, it's right on the ocean. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful location, and the team there is just fantastic. But I think I would just go back to what I said before. It's not just another conference. Especially for folks in the region, we won't be back to this region for a few years. So I don't want you to miss out and say, "Oh, I wish I had gone to the summit." So I hope to see you there.
One final note that I'd like to get out there is, like you just mentioned about local residents, we have discounts available for people in Latin America. So if you're a resident of Latin America, you get a discount automatically applied to your registration. So definitely, if you're in the area, we've designed this event with you in mind. We have Spanish sessions. We have a really Colombian and Latin American focused conference program, and it's happening in your backyard. So there's no reason not to come.
Yeah, great point, Maddie.
Well, Devin, we appreciate you coming on and walking. I mean, Maddie and I are fully aware of everything that's happening because we are part of the team, but I really think it was important to have you come on and give us your perspective and drum up that excitement. We hope that any listener that was on the fence, this episode pushed you into that registration realm. We will make it super easy for you as a listener to register, because you can check out our show notes and we will have links to everything that we've mentioned on this episode. But Devin, thank you again for taking the time. We're glad that we finally got you on the podcast with an exciting topic. So again,
only took 6 years.
Yeah, it only took 6 years.
Yeah, thank you.
Folks, that was our conversation with Devin. I hope that if you were considering attending our summit event this year, this episode was what got you over the fence and checking out our show notes to click that registration button. As always, you can follow Aquademia on X at Aquademia Pod. You can contact us via our online form located at globalseafood.org/podcast.
Also, if you have any questions or comments about the event, you can always reach out to our summit team email, which is just summit@globalseafood.org. And if you enjoy the podcast, be sure to subscribe.
We'll see you at the next episode.
Bye.
Ciao.